Hello everyone, it's me, DillysSims. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Speed Build Sunday, the day of the week where I build whatever I want, because I can. So, for this week's speed build, obviously you probably read the title, but I'm creating the Carrington Mansion, or the Carrington Estate. I'm pretty sure in the TV show they call it the Carrington Estate, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just building it. Let me just talk about it for a little bit because I love Dynasty. I love Dynasty so much. It is one of my favorite all-time TV shows. It goes like this: Sex and the City, Desperate Housewives, Dynasty. All three of those TV shows have affected my life in one way or another. And let me tell you, this was a very difficult speed build. It was a lot harder than I ever thought it was going to be because it's lifted. And it's not like I could create a basement. You didn't get to see me struggle. It took me several hours to get the second floor to match the landscaping in the front, the hill that I created there. It was so hard. But if you don't know what I'm talking about at all, let me just give a little background knowledge on this. So Dynasty is a TV show. It originally aired in 1980 something, and I watched that version. I watched that version of Dynasty before they remade it now, and it's currently on Netflix, so be sure to watch it. I also created a creative sim off of the characters, because that is, create a sim, you guys know, you guys are probably fans of The Sims. Oh, this is turning out to be the worst voiceover I have ever done. And this is my first speed build of 2019. Hopefully they don't all turn out like this. But knowing myself, that's gonna happen. Probably all of my speed builds are gonna end up like this for all of 2019. A hot mess, just like me. I'm a hot mess, so I can't expect my speed builds to not be a hot mess. But Dynasty, in the remake and in the original 1980s, it's about a very, very rich family who acquired their wealth through the oil industry. And in 2019, obviously there are different, or 2018, I think it aired 2 years ago, because they're on season 2 right now, so last year, 2017. Whatever. Nowadays, it's a lot different. Back then, it was a lot more family friendly. I don't even know how to approach it. Like the topics, it was a nighttime soap opera. It was very popular in the 80s. Your grandparents probably watched it. I just really like antique old things, so I watched it. And nowadays, this Dynasty is so amazing. I really went into it with a skewed view because, when you watch a TV show or a movie and it's a remake, it's never as good as the original. Oh, this one blows the original way out of the water. And they attack problems that we deal with now, along with the Me Too movement that's going on, and it's so good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. But as you know, I don't like to talk about just the speed builds. I like to talk about myself. So I have a bit to talk about. I have 30-something minutes of footage to talk through. Can I do it? Yes, because I can talk about myself forever. I once went on a date, and this was a 2-hour date, where I talked about myself. Not because I'm narcissistic, no, but because the person I went on a date with did not want to open up their mouth and have a full conversation with me. They were too shy. And then they told me that they weren't interested in dating me, so maybe I overspoke, but I dodged that bullet. Where was I? I was going to talk about, oh yes, I haven't talked to you since last year. Oh my god, that's an awful joke. Where do I start? I could start with Christmas. Oh yes, because I made my Santa speed build, what did I call it? It was called the North Pole. I created the North Pole, and that was the last speed build that I created. And I guessed, this is what my hypothesis was for Christmas. I really thought going into Christmas that I would wake up, go to church with my family, and then have grandma come over, eat, and then open up my gifts. Oh, and then of course get into an argument with my family. That's pretty normal. But this is exactly what happened. It did not start on Christmas. It started on Christmas Eve. My mom invited my grandma over, and if you've been following my channel for the past few months, you know that my grandfather passed away in June. And it's been a real hard time for my grandma. So every time we see her, every time she hangs out with us, she's crying and is a hot mess, which is totally understandable. But when you're with family and you just want to hang out and have a good time, it really brings down the holiday spirit when grandma's crying. And she cries a lot, like a lot. And I get it. It's really sad that your partner of, I think 60 something years passed away. I know, it's very sad. I was the one that had to call 911 on him. But I just realized this is completely not in order again. I organized this footage thinking, oh, it's in the correct order. No, just kidding. I have been so bad lately with organizing the footage because these bigger builds, I take a few days to record, so I stop recording, I start recording, I stop recording, I start recording. And so organizing it, I thought I had it this time. I always think I have it. Just like my life, I always think I have it, but I never do. But back to Christmas. So Christmas Eve, my grandma came over, she cried, she ate dinner? It was lunch. It was lunch with us. And then she quickly went home. She did not want to stay. That's fine. And then I had to actually work Christmas Eve. I know, awful. But if you're a longtime patron of my channel, hey, how are you? You know that last year I worked for some of my owners. And I mean the people who own the company that I work for. And so what happens at my owner's house is they have a big family, because it's about 8 families that started the company that I work for. And they have a big family meal, and they hire us, 2 people, and it's usually me because I'm so nice and sweet and I don't know how to say no, and because I'm the only one who knows how to work. The turnover, we go through employees really quickly, so I'm the only one who knows how to do anything, and I'm the only one who has experience with the owner's Christmas party. But the owners have me cater, I pour wine for them, I bust their plates. It's kind of like being a butler or a maid for 6 hours. I drive to their house and I work for them. They're super nice. I can't complain too much. Of course, I want to be with my family on Christmas Eve, but it could be worse. They could be really, really mean owners, but they're not. They're really sweet people. And oh, this is such a sweet moment, okay? So here we go. At the very end of the night, I felt awful because the wife came up to me and she said, okay, now this is what we're gonna do. And I had to leave because after 6 hours I have to take a lunch, and I didn't take a lunch. So I went to her and I was about to say, hey, I have to go. And she said, okay, this is the game plan. We're gonna break down these tables and we're gonna clean this all up just like this. And she was giving me a whole game plan. And after she was done, I said, I'm sorry, but I have to go. And she was like, oh, you have to go. I'm so sorry. And she said, wait right here. And I waited, and she gave me and my other coworker that worked a $50 bill each as a tip. She was so nice. And so I put on my coat, went home, and I dug into my pockets. I lost my $50 bill. Of course I did, because that's something DillysSims would do. Dilly is a hot mess all the time. Dilly, if you can lose it, Dilly will lose it. I can't keep track of anything. I can't even keep track of my life. So that makes sense. And so I shrugged and I said, DillysSims, this is what you get for being dumb. And then I told myself, you know what? Easy come, easy go. And so I went to work. Oh, no. Christmas came around. And I convinced my parents to go to midnight mass, which is my favorite mass. So we went to midnight mass, and it went swell, really good. Church was not full because midnight mass is never full. Nobody wants to be up at 12 o'clock to go to church. And that's my favorite part because 11 o'clock and 10 a.m. mass, that's when it's packed with people. So I'm so happy my parents went with me and thought and decided that going at midnight was a good idea, because it was. So we went to church, came back home, and my mom said, okay, we have some gifts for you to open. So what my mother does, and I love her for this, she gets me and my sisters the exact same thing. And I mean the exact same thing as in item. Before Christmas, she will hand out presents to us that are all the same. So we all got blankets, and we all got, I want to say something else that we all got the same, but I can't think of it right now. Hey, cut me some slack, it's been a week. I had a lot going on in the past week. And so we opened up a few gifts that me and my sisters all had in common, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and did my grandma come over, or did we open up gifts? Then we opened up gifts. Here we go. We opened up gifts. I got everything I could have wanted. Literally everything on my wish list. And I didn't put a whole lot on my wish list because I know the value of $1, and I really dislike asking my parents for things. I hate it so much because I know how hard they have to work. I have to work for things that I want too. So I really hate asking my parents for things. So I put a bunch of cheap-ish items. I put, what did I put on my wish list? I put go see a drag show, which my parents did not do. And then, and that's pretty cheap. If you go to the ones in my local area, you just have to pay a cover charge at the door, which is like $3. So, and then whatever you want to tip I was gonna say the dancers, but the drag queens. So I put that on my list, didn't get it. And then I put Anastasia the cartoon, because it was my favorite childhood cartoon, and they recently took it off of Netflix, and I wanted to watch it, for a good cry, and it did not happen. They bought it for me. They bought it for me, but I meant it did not happen because it was no longer on Netflix. Just to clarify, my parents did get me Anastasia. What else did they purchase me? They purchased me 2 pairs of work shoes because I go through work shoes so quickly because I work all the time. So I burn through work shoes so quickly. So I asked for 2. That way I don't have to pay for them. And they bought me a few shirts, a jacket, scarves, so many scarves. I didn't even know I wanted scarves, but now I do. And they bought me 6 or so. What else? What else did they get me? Oh, and this was not on my wish list originally, but I was talking about it to my mom because I went to see Sex and the City, the drag show, and they were handing out free copies. No, not free copies. They were giving away 2 free copies of Sex and the City and Us, how 4 single women have changed the way we think, live, and love. And I didn't win because it was like a drawing. And then I went to New York and I went on the Sex and the City tour, and they were giving away 2 free copies of the same book. And I thought, okay, I'm going to win it this time. No. So I was telling my mom that it was such a struggle. I really did not like that I couldn't win, but I'm going to buy it for myself with Christmas money. And she came up to me later that day and she said, with a Post-it note in her hand, she said, okay, Dylan, it's called Sex and the City and what? So she bought it for me. I love my parents. Sometimes I just want to grab them by the neck and just squeeze really tight, but I love them. They're great people. What else did we do? Grandma came over, and then what we do is we cook on Christmas Eve. We have lunch, and then the next day we have the leftovers. So my grandma came over, we ate, and then the guy that I'm currently dating was sick on Christmas, and I was supposed to go to his parents' house on Christmas Eve, but he didn't even go to his parents' house on Christmas Eve because, again, he was sick. So I went over to his house and I spent a few hours with him because my mother's birthday is also on Christmas, so I didn't want to spend all day with him. And I went home, but my mother did not open up her birthday gifts until 9 p.m., so I could have easily stayed with him a lot longer. And that was good. I spent some of my Christmas with him. We went, what did we do? We looked at houses. We drove around his local neighborhood and we looked and mentally shopped for some houses. Did we start taking down Christmas decorations? No, he started taking down Christmas decorations without me. What did we do? Did we watch TV? Oh, yeah. We talked. We had a good time. We watched some TV. And that was basically it. And then fast forward a few days. Oh, here we go. Let me talk about this. My mother asked me, I want to say it was a few days before Christmas. She asked me, do you want to throw a party for New Year's? And I said, okay, I can throw a party for New Year's. So what happened was, my parents do not have friends. So my parents did not invite anybody. Then both of my sisters, one of them is underage, so she cannot invite friends over because there will be adult drinking. And the other one just didn't want to invite friends over. So what happened was I ended up inviting everybody that I work with. And then my parents and family started getting mad at me because it's way too much work and yada, yada, yada. And it's all Dilly's fault because Dilly wants to have a party because Dylan is a crazy party animal. And so I was blamed for having this party that I did not have the original idea or intent to have. Which is fine. What would Princess Diana do? Take it. And I invited everybody that I work with. I work with roughly 30-ish people. And 6 people RSVP'd. So it was looking very dismal. 6 people RSVP'd on New Year's Eve. That was the total guest count for the party. And then a whopping grand total of 3 people showed up. My mother made food. We decorated the garage. We planned all of this out, and 3 people showed up. That's not even a joke. I'm not even kidding when I say 3 people showed up. 3 of my coworkers showed up. One of them did bring 3 more family members, so that's good. But the person who bought 3 more family members left at like 10, maybe. And my other 2 coworkers, I love them so much for coming because they didn't have to. They saw that this was going to be a flop, and they could have just never showed up. But they came, and then they were gone, I want to say, a little before 11. And it wasn't an awful party at the end. I would have loved it if my coworkers could stay, but I get it. My party was boring. I'm a very boring person. I get it. I'm just giving myself so much doubt, and I'm just bringing myself down, but that's okay. But overall, the party was good, and this is why. Because, remember how I said my parents don't have friends? My mother invited her coworker slash friend, who will remain nameless, and she brought her boyfriend, and we invited my cousin, Michael, and he showed up, and he brought his new girlfriend and their daughter. Well, not his daughter, his girlfriend's daughter. And we started karaoke, and if you don't know anything about me, you should know that I absolutely love and adore karaoke. If I could get paid to just sing karaoke for the rest of my life, done. Where do I sign up? I will cut people to fulfill that dream. I would love to just sing karaoke for the rest of my life. I love karaoke. And my sisters, told me, don't start karaoke, Dylan. That's an awful idea. That's an awful idea. But, oh, I had so much fun, and everybody took turns, and everybody shared the microphone. My dad went several times. And I actually got my mom to join in the fun, and she got to sing karaoke with me twice. One of them is one of her favorite songs by Celine Dion. The one where it goes, you were my voice when I couldn't speak. You were my something because you loved me. You know that one? Yeah, that one. My mother loves that song because in kindergarten, we were forced, and I love using the word forced because it's true. We were forced to learn that song for Mother's Day so we could perform it to our moms. And they still do that. I live in a very small town, so I know what goes on. They still perform that song for Mother's Day. And this is a complete tangent, but I was with a coworker, and my coworker was showing me videos of their cousin for Mother's Day singing that song, and that little kindergartner broke down and started crying because he loved his mom, and I found it so sweet and so relatable because I wanted to start crying because I love my mom. That kindergartner gets me. Where was I? Mother's Day. Yes, I got my mother to sing. My father sang many times. My littlest sister sang 2 or 3 songs. I can't remember. And I was the best host. So in between sessions, I would try to come up with jokes, or I would try to entertain the crowd while somebody used my iPhone to look for the next song. And if you're my father, I love you, Dad. You take so long that I need to create a whole comedy routine out of thin air to make up for the fact that you're taking 10 minutes to pick one song. And it becomes very boring to the audience to sit there while somebody's looking for a song. Because some people, my father, do not come prepared for stuff like that. Again, I love you, Dad, but not that you'll ever watch this or hear this, but it takes you a while. So I created a whole comedy routine. I was the host. I told my people, my guests, my mom's coworker and her boyfriend, and my cousin and his girlfriend, to constantly tip the bartender because she's great. The bartender being my little sister. And I told them when to applaud because there were a few times, and I felt very, very angry, that there were a few times when I sang karaoke and they did not applaud for me. I sang maybe 4 or 5 times. And there were a few times where I ended the song and I said, okay, and this is when you clap. And they were like, oh, ha 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 ha, you're so funny. And I would make jokes about my life because my life is a huge constant joke. I told a joke about how my car, if you didn't know this, okay, I bought a new car in February, and this is one of the jokes that I told on New Year's. I said, you know what? I always like to say my life is God's personal comedy channel. And people say, no, it's not, DillysSims. But it's true. It's very true. For example, I purchased my brand new car in February. And I was so happy. It was a brand new car. I finally know what air conditioning feels like because I have a working air conditioner. And the first night that I used it, I turn it on to find out I'm missing a headlight. Yeah, I am constantly struck with situations like that in my life. Constantly. Once I think I have something, and I think I've got it good, I'm wrong. I'm so wrong. And that goes for every aspect of my life. School, understanding math, everyone I ever date. Every time I feel like I understand something, I really, truly don't. Because I'm just a stupid kid. But, yeah. What's another joke that I told? Oh, this is my favorite joke. And it took some people a while. But I said, oh, it's almost midnight, and you know what you do on midnight? You kiss that loved one. Does anyone here know when the last time I had a New Year's kiss was? And my mother looked at me so angrily because she's still in that, like, mojo where she doesn't want me to talk about me being gay because, I don't know, being gay is a sin or whatever. And she was so mad at me because she thought I was going to mention me being gay, which I was very careful not to because of her. And everyone was like, ooh, 2 years, 1 year ago, 3 years ago. And I said, nope, you're all wrong. Never! And everyone laughed, and a few people went, oh, Dylan, feeling all, sad and sorry for me because my life is a big mess. I have to constantly remind myself that some of these things aren't jokes. Because I joke, and I keep thinking that it's not true, but sometimes it's true. It's reality. My life is a big mess. But it's okay. I keep telling myself it's all part of being an adult. Getting to find out who you are in life, never getting a New Year's Eve kiss, never celebrating Valentine's Day with anyone special. Yeah. So New Year's came around, and again, I was using my phone as the karaoke machine. So if you have a karaoke machine that does not have a screen, what you do is you have to Bluetooth your phone to the stereo. And then you have to go onto YouTube, type, and you have to find a song. So my first song I sang was, what was it? Was it Paris Hilton? I'm just gonna say Blondie because that's my go-to song. No, it was Sweet Dreams. So I typed in Sweet Dreams karaoke, and it'll pop up. Just about every song I looked up, there was a karaoke version to it, and I sang along with it. And then you have to use your phone as the screen while you sing into the microphone. So everyone used my phone. So I did not have a sense of time. And my sister, who was bartending, kept telling me, hey, DillysSims, you have to make sure that we open up champagne. It's almost time. And there's a clock in my garage, but I forgot because who does this other than my mom? I forgot that my mother likes to set every single clock in the house 5 minutes ahead. So we never run behind schedule, which sounds like a good idea in theory, but we're always running late. And so I forgot that was happening. So we celebrated New Year's belatedly. I took my phone away from whoever was singing, and I said, okay, we're ready for New Year's. Everybody, there's champagne. And right after I said that, I had to scream Happy New Year's because it was already 12. We did not have party poppers? Yeah, party poppers. Those little like thingies that you pull the string and they go pop and there's a little confetti. We did not have party poppers ready. We did not have champagne poured. We did not hand out the little, those blowy thingies. Oh God. We didn't do any of that until after. So I screamed Happy New Year's, and we all hugged each other. It was a great time. And then that's when I told everybody to grab champagne so we could toast to a new year. And I don't exactly remember what my toast was, but I said to a new year, new friends, good health, and hopefully not being alone anymore. Or something like that. That sounds like something I would say. Any joke that I could make at my expense, I did, because my life is a joke. And I realized when I was making jokes and while I was hosting, I, first of all, was like my person, let me rephrase that. That sounds stupid. First of all, I was in the footsteps of... that also sounds stupid. I was walking in the footsteps of the man I want to grow up to look exactly like, Anderson Cooper, because he hosted this year, 2018, the ball dropping in New York for New Year's, and with Andy Cohen, but I don't want to look like him. I want to look like Anderson Cooper. And second of all, I realized that if you take away any jokes about my dating life, I have no jokes to tell. I do not exist without dating. Does that make sense? If you take away my dating life, I have nothing to talk about. I can talk about The Sims, but that audience probably, only my parents would probably know what The Sims are because they're forced to listen to me talk about The Sims. So it was an older crowd. Some of my jokes didn't land, and that was okay. That's what I found out. That's what I realized is without dating, I am obsolete. I have nothing to talk about. I could talk about my friends, but my friends and I don't really do too many crazy, ridiculous things. And that's okay. As long as I'm happy and having a good time and I'm not in an abusive friendship relationship like I used to be, everything's good and fine and healthy. And so we celebrated New Year's. Once after midnight, that's when I started getting really drunk. And I just kept drinking and drinking. And I didn't end up going to bed until like 3:30 in the morning, which I guess was okay because I had the next day off, but I didn't wake up until 12. And one thing I hate doing is sleeping in. And it feels so good, but it's such a awful thing to do, for me at least, because I beat myself up. I tell myself, oh, DillysSims, you could have done this while you were sleeping, you could have done this while you were sleeping. I slept in until 11:45 or something like that. That's almost the entire day. There were so many things that I could have done, and I didn't have to go to work until 6 the next day, so I had to be in bed at like 10, so I got a good 8 hours of sleep. So that only left me with 10 hours of my day, which if I woke up at 8, that would have left me with 14 hours of my day. This is the type of stuff that goes through my head when I wake up in the morning. How much time do I have before I have to go back to sleep to complete all of my tasks? That's how DillysSims' brain works. Well, that's all the while. Wait, that doesn't make sense. If it's not worrying about time limits and getting stuff done, it's worried about boys and dating. That is what goes through my brain all the time. Yeah, a question. I've been talking about myself for a good 30 minutes. What are your guys's? How was your guys' New Year's? How was your guys' Christmas? Please let me know in the comment section below. I would really like to know. What if you don't celebrate Christmas? Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I've been talking about Christmas. I should be saying, how was your non-denominational holiday? Because I don't know if you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah. I would say Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, but I don't know if they're the same. If they're not, please educate me in the comment section below, so I don't sound ignorant. I don't want to sound like Caitlin, my coworker. Oh, Caitlin, I have more stories to tell you about her, but I don't think this is the video to talk about her, because this video is about love, my family, celebrating a whole new year. Yeah. And I do have some time, so I'll just talk briefly about my New Year's resolutions. I made some New Year's resolutions. Some of them are the same, some of them have changed. So of course I want to lose all of the winter weight, which I started doing already, and it's such a hard struggle because we have leftovers from Christmas. Or not Christmas, New Year's, because we made a bunch of food for my New Year's party where only 6 people showed up. Well, 3. So that's going to be a struggle for the next few days. I want to lose all my winter weight, and I want to, of course, like every year, I want to find love. Like Princess Diana. This is the one thing that I quote from Princess Diana because this is all I want in life. In the words of Princess Diana, all I want is to find a man who will wrap his arms around me and say, I love you. And then I can die happy. Cool. Okay, I want to do very well in school. I want to get organized, and I'm pretty sure I made some more goals, but I can't think of them on the spot. Oh, there's my Sex and the City and Us book. It's been taking me a long time to read it because I keep falling asleep when I start to read it. I want to finish that. But let me know in the comment section, what are your goals for 2019? And if you don't want to call it New Year's resolutions, cool. Call them goals, because Everybody needs to have goals. And my goals are very clearly shallow. I can't say they're materialistic. They're more stereotypical for a 13-year-old girl. Yeah, that's exactly what they are. They're very stereotypical for a 13-year-old girl. Worrying about my body and boys. Oh gosh, DillysSims. This is what this whole video is about. It's not even about my family or Christmas or New Year's. It's about my obsession with dating. Clearly. Ooh, how much time do I have? I don't think I have that much time. So, ooh. Yeah, I don't have that much time. I was going to tell you another story, but that'll have to wait for another video. I'll talk more about Caitlin in the next video because, oh, she's been making me so angry at work. And I don't think she's leaving. She's never getting fired, and it really bothers me. But that's okay. Anyways, I need to start wrapping this up. If you love Dynasty, please let me know in the comment section below. I love it when other people love Dynasty. And I do have a cast of the cast. Cast of the cast? Yeah. If you want to create any lots... Oh, let me take that back. This lot can be found in the gallery by searching the Carrington Estate, or just by searching me, DillysSims, on YouTube. If you want to create any lots or characters, or anything for a series of mine on YouTube, feel free to do so. Just tag it in the gallery with the hashtag DillysSims. I'll be sure to shout you out. And I have an Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at DillyApollinario. It's also in the description box below. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, do all those fun YouTube things, and I'll catch all of you guys next time. Happy holidays! Happy non-denominational holidays!